Pilar, thank you. The motivational speaker, Zig Ziglar, always used to say, go as far as you can see, and you can see farther. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I hope to help you see farther. As Pilar said, I'm working on my Pathways journey, and where I am right now, I'm level 4. It's asked me to put together a small team for a project of my choice, and then report on that. And that's what you're hearing today. But I swear, within 24 hours of reading that and seeing that I had a project to do, Sandy DePrimo asked me if I will teach at the Toastmasters Leadership Institute, which is the TLI, or better known as the TLI. I needed a project, and here's one laid right in my lap. But what Sandy didn't know is I didn't know squat about being a club treasurer, and that's what she wanted me to talk about. Yes, I'd been club treasurer once, about 10 years ago, but I accepted this because I'm thinking, well, go as far as you can see, and you can see further. I'm going to see where this will take me. But the big question is, who can I turn to help me on this team? Because I have limited knowledge of it, and so I needed to look around and find that help. And this is the COVID era, and it might be a curse or a blessing. Well, the first person I wanted on my team is none other than our own Edwin Mercado. And Edwin is currently our club treasurer, and he's the past finance director for the district, as well as a walking, talking Toastmaster rule book. Well, he and I Zoom back and forth together, and he schooled me on the ins and outs of club treasurer, what to do, how to do things. So when it was all said and done, I came away from our meeting having a good basic knowledge of how to be a club treasurer. Well, next, I turned to Michael Nunes. I don't know if you remember, some of you may remember Michael. He was our club treasurer for several years. Well, he and I communicated back and forth, and he gave me lots of files that he still had on his computer. I'm betting that he would like to come back because he saved everything. But he shared stuff with me, and when we were all done with our conversations, I felt like I had a good history of the club and how things were spent in the past, how the monies were spent, and then things that he felt that we could do differently going into the future. But who else could I turn to? Now, I seem to be in a unique position. I'm in 2 Toastmaster districts. I'm here in District 84, Central Florida, but I'm also in another club, which is in another district, and that's District 26 over in Wyoming and Colorado and Western Nebraska. And luckily for me, they had their TLIs first. They did their trainings first, and I went to all 3 of their trainings. And yes, I went to all 3 of their trainings on being a club treasurer. Now, when I was done with those 3 different TLIs, I was thoroughly convinced that I could do what those other presenters had done. They gave me the confidence that I could do that too. And in my ventures over there, I also came across a very experienced club treasurer who's actually from our sister district, District 48, over in the Tampa area. And he gave me more insight into being a club treasurer, and he gave me some very useful files that he had. I could see a little further. And finally, on my team, I Zoomed with Janice Shelfer, fellow Toastmaster, and she helped me with my presentation and getting ready for this. And she gave me all the feedback to help make my presentation more personable. She helped me move stories into my presentation. And when it was all done with our working together, it made my presentation more engaging, made it easier for the people to follow. Now, by now, you're probably asking, well, how did it go? It went all right. No, my presentation, actually there were 4 of them, and it went better than all right. Because after each session, you get the participants, and the participants ranged between 45. In the first session, I think I had as low as 30. So for at least 30 to 45 people in every session. And they were asked to do an electronic evaluation, and they did. And I had really good reviews. So I'm thinking, this guy who's only done treasurer once got schooled by his team that helped me bring it through. And in my first session, I had Edwin Mercado sitting in the audience. So I knew if I needed help, he had my back. So thank you, Edwin. Now, why am I telling you all of this? Because I came to the realization that you can do this too, because you don't have to have everyone in the same room at the same time. You can just have a project or a task, and then you find the people that are able to fill into that role and do that role. I'm telling you, I grew in knowledge and understanding and confidence. And I'm encouraging you, you can too. I mean, just put your team together, do that project, and you can see further. Madam Toastmaster.